₹150 देगा।
The classic case of me interviewing celebrities and people bashing me already anticipating favorable reviews for movies continues on the assumption that I've been paid a hefty sum just to interact with the cast of the film. I think I just have to come to terms with the fact that the accusations will never go, irrespective of me proving otherwise. What's hilarious though is that I've been accused of being a paid reviewer when I interact with Hindi film stars, but nobody really batted an eyelid when I interacted with Rakshit Shetty and raved about 777 Charlie. Different strokes for different folks, I guess, irrespective. Getting to brass tacks and calling a spade, JugJugg Jeeyo has been heavily promoted as a Dharma Productions commercial family entertainer with a lot of anticipation that this film will really deliver another big hit for the Hindi film industry. Taking a leaf from Raj Mehta's previous film Good News, the movie also is another case of soft landing films, which denotes thorny and almost stigmatized subjects in our society and presenting them in a palatable way, hoping and praying that one learns and gets educated and open-minded about the same. IVF then and divorce now. JugJugg Jeeyo focuses on the life of Cuckoo and Naina, played by Varun Dhawan and Kiara Advani respectively, who are going through marital issues and are seeking for divorce. Dreading breaking the news to his family, Cuckoo wants his sister Ginny's wedding to first pass in order to avoid any form of confrontation or conflict, only to realize that his own parents are going through marital problems. The father Bhim, played by Anil Kapoor, already planning on filing for divorce and separating with his wife Geeta, played by Neetu Kapoor. The situational comedy that arises as both generations want to break the news of separation to one another while the wedding festivities carry on, only to manifest into laughs and an emotional ride when confronted with the tough predicament, is the basic premise of this film. Here's me telling you the good and bad aspects of the movie so that you guys can ultimately decide whether to watch JugJugg Jeeyo in theaters or not. A Dharma movie deserves a better album and choreography. Whenever I think about Dharma movies, I always root and look forward to the music album of the film. Throughout our formative years, the production company for the most part has been delivering what Hindi cinema has been best known for, melodious and chart-busting tunes. I have to say that I was mostly disappointed with the album of the film, not for the quality of the songs per se, but the lack of innovation, as the 2 of the 4 songs from the album are basically remakes. The dance hit from the album, Nach Punjaban, is a remake of the Abrar ul Haq single, and that has gone through its own controversy, the original singer not being happy of his music being utilized for the film. You've got Rangasari by Kavita and Kanish Seth, and even though the original artists are credited, I just wish this film invested more time in creating original music, like films from the production company has done with previous melodious albums like Gehraiyan and Shersha. Irrespective, my favorite from the album is Dupatta and Nain Tahire, which establishes the relationship between Cuckoo and Naina. Also, did you notice that it almost seemed like Varun was in a street dancer hangover in this film, performing hard-hitting steps in presumably chill and laid-back songs, especially Dupatta and Rangasari. The odd choice of choreography almost seemed misplaced with the songs. Let me know if you felt the same as well. What's sad is that the climax uses the Punjabi folk song Chitta, which has been utilized by Hindi cinema just a few months ago in Shiddat. Family dynamic. One of the things that director Zoya Akhtar really emphasizes on, especially while casting a family for a film, is that it should actually look like one. The dynamic and relationship of the Saini family genuinely seemed organic and real. You've got a narcissistic father who loves to indulge in both food and alcohol, an empathetic and caring mother, a deadbeat son who wants to do the right thing but seems to have lost his way in the journey, and a sister presumably level-headed but in conflict from within. Not only does the family look like one another but interacts like most Punjabi families, a dynamic that is represented through constant movement and chaos, something that is normal for most Indian households. Majority of the conversations happen at a particular high pitch and usually as characters move around the room, carrying out mundane activities while having the said argument. Usually Hindi films exaggerate the Punjabi dynamic and amp it up to a point to become caricaturish, but thankfully JugJugg Jeeyo never really transitioned there to become jarring. I also have to give a special mention to the opening sequence set in Toronto, Canada, as Cuckoo and Naina live a married life devoid of love, and a song Tooth Sitara plays in the background. The montage really works in establishing how the relationship between the two has gone sour. Comedy is a total hit and a miss. I was reading rave reviews of the movie due to the premiere for a few critics who were saying that this movie is an absolute laugh riot and that they couldn't stop laughing throughout its running minutes, at least the first half. In reply to those tweets, I just want to manage your expectations because the comedic punchlines in this film are nothing but a hit and a miss. Sometimes they deliver with flying colors and sometimes fall flat on their face completely. Anil Kapoor and Manish Paul do most of the heavy lifting of the comedy in this film, and just like the writing, partly deliver. Let me give you a few examples of this contrast so that you have an idea of the roller coaster you're stepping in for. Manish Paul boasting about his single friend says, "हम Avenger हैं और Avenger का उल्टा क्या होता है? Married." Anil Kapoor describes his wife as a vegetarian शेरनी. वो तुम्हें खाएगी नहीं पर दूर से डराती रहेगी. Manish Paul asks Varun, तू रो रहा है? And he replies, नहीं, पसीना है, आंखों से निकल रहा है. And the worst of the lot, fresh सिर्फ दो तरीके से होते हैं, potty या party. See, I just showcased to you several examples of bottom of the barrel jokes, but that doesn't mean that this is consistent throughout the film. You have hilarious scenes of Anil and Varun comparing body fat percentage, Manish Paul doing improv, staring at one of his bouncers and just randomly saying, तेरे लिए गिद्दा करूं क्या? Or my favorite, the family being invited for a bachelor party only for the groom to say, तो वैष्णो देवी ही चले जाते हैं. So I think I've made my point. It's not a seamless journey, but with many bumps and cracks. Dramatic second half and convincing performances. I just was not connecting with the comedic first half and wondered whether this is going to get any better, and to my surprise it did because of its dramatic and emotional second half. Raj Mehta categorically makes the people in his world who were dealing with the thorny subjects in the guise of situational comedy in the first half to deal with them head on in the second half, and this is where the performances really shine. Neetu Kapoor in my eyes standing out as the star performer, having the most layered issues to deal with, written with great empathy. Neetu's hard exterior really does deliver the most convincing emotional scenes, especially the bench scene that she shared with Kiara, stating इतने सालों के बाद रिश्ता आदत में बदल जाता है. We really did miss her at the movies and it actually seemed like she never left. Varun Dhawan gets a lot of stick for being a massy over-the-top hero, but I've always loved him in dramatic roles, and he delivers in the most tricky scenes of the film, especially when confronted with his own capability and shortcomings. Kiara does really try to match the emotional pitch of the film, but where she delivers in being reactionary, she does falter in her oscillating dialogue delivery. Anil Kapoor, while being reduced to being a selfish narcissist, is emotionally distant and mostly handed over the gags in this movie. I loved his infectious laughter, but I just really wanted Raj to break the walls that a character like Bheem has put up, a mechanism just not to deal with the real issues. I thought that was an opportunity missed with a vessel like Anil Kapoor. Prajakta Kohli as Ginny in her brief appearance is adept in most of her scenes. JugJugg Jeeyo is only salvaged due to the ability of Raj Mehta in a mature manner handling a stigmatized topic like divorce. Just like the movie, it takes a mixed approach with the characters in its conclusion, making me think that this is the best way I can describe the movie. A tale of two halves that was incoherent and slightly fabricated in the first and then only partly delivers in the second due to its convincing emotional moments. Good news is definitely a superior film in Raj's filmography, and JJJ ends up being only an above average affair that might attract some audiences for a carefree viewing experience, but in no way, shape or form can be termed as a home run. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about JugJugg Jeeyo. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram, the handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.